Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Quick Tip Tuesday. Again, let me just start off by saying I am so sorry I didn't have one for you guys last week. Due to construction, I couldn't film, I couldn't put any videos out, so I apologize. But I'm here again with another Quick Tip Tuesday. This video is going to be about bronzer. For some reason, bronzer really confuses people. I notice it a lot with clients when I'm doing their makeup. When I go in with bronzer, they have a ton of questions. I notice a lot of comments here on YouTube asking how to use bronzer, which bronzer you should use, and how to apply it properly. So I'm gonna address some questions that pop up a lot when using bronzer and the different types of bronzers and how you should use them. So if you're interested, keep on watching. So the first thing I have to say about bronzer is the general rule when applying it to your skin is you should apply it in a number 3 shape. And what I mean by that is temples, hollows of the cheek, jawline, and you even want to drag it down the neck to connect the bronzer on the face to the rest of the body. You also want to apply bronzer to the sides of the nose. Don't get this step confused for contouring your nose. A lot of times I'll see people comment, you don't need to contour your nose, like why are you contouring your nose? When light hits your face, and I've explained this in a previous video, but I'm obviously gonna talk about it a little more in detail in this one. When light hits your face, you get a natural shadow in certain areas of your face, like the hollows of the cheek, jawline, and sides of the nose. So when you add bronzer to that area, you're just accentuating that shadow. You're not necessarily trying to correct the shape of the nose, even though you can do that. I do it because, again, it's just accentuating that natural shadow. Also, if you like a highlight in the center of your face, if you don't add any bronzer to the sides of your nose, it looks very stark white in the center of your face. So that's why it's a good idea to always add a little bit of bronzer, even if you have the most perfect nose. Trust me, it makes a world of a difference. And that's pretty much the general rule when applying bronzer. Now, there's a difference between matte bronzers and shimmery bronzers. Matte bronzers you can use to also contour the face. And they especially work when applying it in that number 3 shape, because when you do that, you technically are accentuating the bone structure. So a matte bronzer looks really great in the hollows of the cheek, when a shimmery one, not so much, because it's going to reflect light. But I will use a matte bronzer and a shimmery bronzer together. So matte bronzer is great to do that step I just mentioned, apply it in number 3, sides of the nose, jawline, and down the neck, whereas a shimmery bronzer is really pretty to go on top of a matte bronzer. So especially on the temples, around the forehead, on the cheeks, to give an all over warmth to the skin and give you that sun-kissed look. Matte bronzer, if you were to dust it all over, depending on how you apply it, sometimes it tends to look dirty on the skin, which is why a light shimmery bronzer looks pretty as a nice wash of color, whereas a matte bronzer can cause you to look like you have mud on your face if it's done wrong. However, I do take matte bronzers and take them on the cheeks as well. But to simplify it for you guys, matte bronzer is great to apply in that number 3 shape and to also chisel out and sort of contour the face, whereas a shimmery bronzer is really pretty for an all over wash of color to give your skin that sun-kissed look and also give a really nice glow to the skin. My little black book of bronzers from Too Faced is a perfect example of all the different bronzers I'm talking about. Milk Chocolate Soleil, Chocolate Soleil, and Dark Chocolate Soleil are all completely matte. So depending on your skin tone, these would all be great to bronze and contour with. Snow Bunny, Beach Bunny, and Sun Bunny have a high shimmer to them, so those are great for the all over wash of color. And then Pink Leopard, which I wasn't gonna mention, but I know you guys will probably ask about it. Because it has that pink in it, I tend to use this one as a blush. Just so you guys know, I say this every time I show this palette because I know you guys will ask. All of these bronzers are sold individually. I bought this past holiday season on Cyber Monday. It was a limited edition item, but they all come individually. I just wanted to show it because Too Faced does carry matte and shimmery bronzers, and I think people just get confused what to use each bronzer for. Mainly shimmery bronzers, I feel like those are the most confusing for most people. The last thing I want to say about bronzer is sort of a no-brainer, but I figured I might as well mention it. Wherever the brush hits the face first is where it's going to be the darkest. Same concept as eyeshadow. So when you're bronzing your skin, start further back and bring it forward, because if you start up close, you'll have dark splotches of bronzer that are hard to blend out, and you want the darkest to be on the perimeter of the face. So just keep that in mind when applying your bronzer. And that sums up this week's Quick Tip Tuesday. If you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up. As always, comment down below on any suggestions you guys might have on what you guys would like to see next. I already have a list forming on what I'm gonna do next, but I always appreciate more suggestions so that I can brainstorm some ideas. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. So I see you in the next one. Bye guys.